Describe your work as an anthropologist.
Well, I worked, I did go with a couple of classes from University of Shindi, Sudan, Svetlana Gili, I believe, from Moscow, Daniel Michaud from France, a couple of Sudanese people, Dr. Ahmed from the University of Shindi, and Fauzi from the Sudan National Museum, who was our supervisor. And what we did, we were digging, not in a pyramid, but a temple. It was a sun temple, dated about between 5 BC and 580. And so what we were finding are some things that had never been found before, very predated some of the finds predated any finds found before. One piece dated to 12,000 years back, when this culture is said only to be 3,500 years BC to 500 years AD, about a 3,000, 4,000 year culture, which doesn't make sense. Really. You just don't pop into high culture. You know, there are some developmental stages. But this little piece of potsherd, which I have a picture of, was dated to 12,000 years ago. So that would mean that the culture is 8,000 years older than they think it was. And so we found those. We found some very unique potsherds from the culture. We found some burials that were about 1,500 years old. We found some columns that had Egyptian writing, but the representation of the king or the chief of the area was definitely Nubian. Had the papyrus flower instead of the lotus flower on the insignia, which meant that it was a Nubian king and queen. And that's a really special area because there were 350 years of the Meroitic Nubian Kushite history that we know that regnant queens were the ones that were governing the area. The Egyptian culture, or Kemetic culture, and the ancient Sudanese culture, they go back and forth a whole lot because the most ancient priests were the ones that were from Sudan or Meroe. Those were the keepers to the culture, and for your pharaonic reign to be ordained, you had to have a priest from Meroe, because that's the origin of the culture. So it tells you, just in that act, that they know that culture is older, much older, but its modern academia somehow struggles with that, because they say that the Kushite culture, they use a term that it's a naive culture. So it's every day, if the possibility of people finding out all these different terms and all these different finds, because everywhere you go in Sudan, in the desert, you'll find the culture. Our bus got stuck in the middle of the desert by Hashbinanaga, which is a village, actually the village of the president of the country, the current president of the country. And so I was walking around, just out there, just shuffling my feet. And lo and behold, I just brushed off some tile work that was probably about 2,000 years old, that was just underneath the sand. Ancient tile work. So the culture is far expansive than we know.
Describe working as an English teacher in Sudan.
The job in Sudan came when I was at the University of Khartoum, pursuing going to school at the University of Khartoum. That didn't occur. But what did occur is that I met some people in Sudan a teacher in Sudan that said they needed an English teacher, and then I got interviewed, and then I became a 4th grade teacher with my background in teaching in the United States, because I taught for over 10 years as a teacher in charter schools in Detroit.
What was the pay range of jobs that you worked overseas?
I paid extremely well for the society. I was paid $3,500 pounds a month.
How did being an African American affect how people treated you?
Sudanese are very friendly with African Americans. they're very friendly, to tell you the truth, with Americans, probably because there's small numbers of them. They did question me about American attitudes about Islam, about Muslims and things like that. But personally, my friends were very nice to me. Sudan is a place of just open door, the most hospitable place I've ever been to in the world, actually. I was treated very well.